Stop lying to yourself that anxiety isn't just stress, it's a sign that you're living against your frequency. The tightness in your chest isn't weakness, it's your soul screaming. Because you're trying to manifest from the wrong brain wave. You've been taught to grind harder, pray longer, manifest smarter. But none of it works because your brain isn't tuned to receive. You feel it every night when you lie awake, staring at the ceiling. That gnawing for that no matter how much you do, you're still one paycheck away from disaster. That mental fog where ideas used to flow freely, but now just bounce around like a caged animal. That's not your fault. That's your hippocampus starving for the right environment. I know how tired you feel. I know the weight of debt feels like it's crushing your ribs from the inside out. I know the shame of trying so hard and still feeling abandoned by the universe. But what if I told you this pain isn't a punishment? What if it's a message from your own biology crying out for help? Here's the soul-shattering truth. Nobody wanted you to know your brain has been physically altered by the modern world. The organ that connects you to divine abundance, the hippocampus, has been shrunk by stress, shriveled by sleepless nights, and starved by the constant hum of the slave wave. That beta frequency you're trapped in isn't natural, it's a cage, a biological prison built by forces that profit from your struggle. Think about the last time you felt truly at ease. Maybe it was when you were a child, lying in the grass, watching clouds drift by. Your brain was in theta then, for to 7HC, a state where creativity flows, intuition sharpens, and money seems to appear effortlessly. That's not just nostalgia. That's neuroscience. Children naturally operate in theta until society conditions them into beta. You've been trained to forget how to access that state. And the people who benefit from your struggle don't want you to remember. Powerful organizations have known this for decades. The CIA studied it. Corporations weaponized it. They called it the slave wave because that's exactly what it does. Keeps you in a state of frantic, controllable energy where you'll never reach your full potential. You've been kept in the dark because an awake hippocampus is a dangerous thing. It creates people who can't be controlled by debt cycles, who manifest wealth effortlessly, who trust their intuition. Instead of fearing scarcity, consider this. When you're stuck in beta, your brain is flooded with cortisol. Your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thought, shuts down. Your amygdala, the fear center, takes over. You make decisions from panic, not vision. You chase money, but money slips through your fingers because you're vibrating at the wrong frequency. You work harder, but the universe can't respond because you're not in the right state to receive. I've seen it in clients. They come to me with their spreadsheets, their to-do lists, their desperate affirmations. They're grinding themselves into the ground, convinced that more effort equals more abundance. But no matter how much they do, the money doesn't come. Why? Because they're not addressing the root issue. Their hippocampus is starving. Their brain waves are stuck in beta. They're trying to manifest from a state of lack. and the universe responds to that vibration. The good news is this: your hippocampus can heal. In fact, it wants to heal. It's been waiting for you to give it the right conditions. The billionaire brainwave, the theta frequency, isn't some mystical concept. It's a measurable state where your brain operates at 4-7HC, where ideas flow freely, where money appears effortlessly, where stress melts away like ice in sunlight. The poor vibrate in beta, always chasing, always stressed, always one step behind. The wealthy vibrate in theta, receiving with ease, trusting the flow, knowing opportunities appear. When they are in this state, you've been taught that abundance comes from hard work. But hard work in beta only leads to burnout. True abundance comes from being in theta and letting the universe do the work. Let me give you a concrete example. A client of mine, let's call her Sarah, was stuck in a cycle of debt. She worked 2 jobs, barely slept, and still felt like she was drowning. She tried every manifestation, trick vision boards, affirmations, even hypnosis. But nothing stuck. Then she started using a specific sound frequency at 528 Hz. Within weeks, she noticed something shift. Ideas started flowing to her effortlessly. A friend mentioned a side hustle that aligned perfectly with her skills. She took the leap, and within a month, that side hustle generated enough income to cover her rent. She wasn't working harder, she was vibrating higher. Another example: Mark, a freelancer, was stuck in a cycle of feast and famine. He'd get a big project, work himself into exhaustion, and then spend months scrambling for the next. When he was stuck in beta, his brain wired for survival, not flow. When he started using 430 to HC sound therapy, his brain shifted into theta. He began noticing opportunities. He'd normally miss referrals from unexpected places. Clients reaching out without him pitching. His income stabilized. He wasn't chasing money anymore. He was letting it come to him. The deep reason you're going through this pain is specifically because of your shrunken hippocampus. That is the root cause. So if you want to start changing this reality today by simply regrowing this connection with a sound wave, then click the link in the description right now and change your life today, now. To understand how we truly heal this, you need to know that your brain isn't just a computer, it's a receiver. And when your antenna is damaged, you can't pick up the signals of abundance. No matter how loud you shout the frequencies of wealth, the same ones used in ancient temples and modern sound therapy, are the exact tools you need to restore your natural state. Science has proven that sound frequencies like 430 to Hz and 528 Hz can regrow hippocampal tissue. They are called solfeggio frequencies, rediscovered by Dr. Joseph Puleo in the 1970s. These aren't New Age woo-woo. They are measurable, repeatable, life-changing frequencies that have been used for centuries to heal and attract wealth. Let me break down how this works. When you listen to these frequencies, your brain waves start shifting from beta to theta. The tightness in your chest begins to dissolve. The mental fog lifts. You start noticing opportunities you'd normally miss. Money appears in unexpected ways. Your intuition sharpens like a laser. The stress that felt like a constant companion starts to melt away. Consider the work of Dr. Candice Pert, a neuroscientist who discovered that emotions are biochemical molecules that bind to receptors in the brain and body. When you're stuck in beta, you're flooding your system with stress hormones that literally shrink your hippocampus. But when you shift into theta, you flood your system with endorphins and dopamine, the chemicals of flow and trust. Your hippocampus begins to regrow. Your brain becomes a receiver for abundance. Take the story of David, a real estate investor who was struggling to close deals. He was stuck in beta, his brain wired for survival. He tried every tactic: cold calling, social media, ads, networking events, but nothing worked. Then he started using a 7-minute sound ritual at 528 HC. But for each deal, within weeks, his closing rate doubled. Why? Because he was no longer approaching deals from a place of fear. He was vibrating at the frequency of trust, and trust is the ultimate wealth attractor. This isn't some magical thinking. It's neuroscience. When your hippocampus regrows, you're no longer operating from a place of fear. You're operating from a place of trust, and trust is the way plants respond to sunlight. It can't help but provide. The 7-minute sound ritual isn't a product, it's a blessing. It's a direct transmission to your starving hippocampus. It's the ancient secret finally revealed in a form you can use right now. You don't need to meditate for hours. You don't need to spend years in therapy. You just need 7 minutes of the right frequency to start rewiring your brain for abundance. Here's how it works in practice. When you listen to the sound wave, your brain waves start to entrain to the frequency. This means your brain naturally synchronizes with the rhythm, shifting from beta to theta. The hippocampus, which has been starved and shrunk, begins to receive the nourishment it needs. It starts to regrow, and as it regrows, your ability to receive abundance increases exponentially. Think of it like tuning a radio. If you're tuned to a static-filled station, you'll only hear noise. But if you tune to the right frequency, the music becomes clear. The same is true for your brain. If you're stuck in beta, you're only hearing the static of survival. But when you shift into theta, you start hearing the frequency of abundance. The frequencies of 432 HC and 528 HC are particularly powerful for this. 432 HC is known as the frequency of the universe. It's the same frequency found in the Gregorian chants and ancient solfeggio scales. 528 HC is called the DNA repair frequency because of its ability to heal and regenerate. When you combine these frequencies in a sound ritual, you're essentially rebooting your brain's ability to receive abundance. I've seen clients transform their lives in weeks using this method. One woman, let's call her Lisa, was stuck in a cycle of chronic illness and financial struggle. She tried everything: medication, therapy, manifestation techniques. But nothing stuck then. She started using the 7-minute sound ritual daily. Within a month, her health improved, and she started receiving unexpected financial opportunities. She wasn't doing anything differently in her actions. She was simply changing her vibration. Another client, James, was a corporate executive burning out from the grind. He tried meditation, yoga, even psychedelics, but nothing gave him the lasting shift he needed. Then he discovered the sound ritual. Within weeks, his stress levels dropped, his creativity soared, and he started receiving job offers that aligned with his true purpose. He wasn't working harder, he was vibrating higher. The key here is consistency. Your brain isn't going to rewire itself overnight. It took years for your hippocampus to shrink and your brain waves to get stuck in beta. It's going to take time to reverse that. But with just 7 minutes a day, you can start the process. Your hippocampus will begin to regrow, your brain waves will start to shift, and your ability to receive abundance will increase. Close your eyes and imagine this money flowing toward you effortlessly, not because you worked harder, but because you're finally vibrating at the right frequency. Imagine your brain healing itself, restoring its natural connection to the universe's infinite abundance. Imagine the weight lifting from your chest, the sleepless nights, ending the constant anxiety, fading into peace. This isn't about positive thinking, it's about biological reality. Your brain is waiting for this, your hippocampus is hungry for this sound. The universe is waiting to provide, but you have to be in the right state to receive. And that state is there. To think about the last time you felt truly alive. Maybe it was when you were on vacation, lying on a beach with no responsibilities, or when you were creating something: art, music, a business idea, and time seemed to disappear. That's theta, that's the state where you're most aligned with abundance. That's the state where the universe can't help but provide the sound. Wave is waiting for you at the link. It's been waiting for you to discover this truth. You deserve this ease, you deserve this peace, you deserve to finally feel the universe's abundance flowing to you without struggle. Click the link now. Heal your hippocampus. Reclaim your birthright of abundance. The ritual is ready for you. The universe is waiting. Your brain is waiting. Stop fighting against your own biology. Start healing it instead.